From VTV Channel 6 Studios in downtown Vernal, this is Local Point with your host, Chris Piner.
Welcome to Local Point, brought to you by Ashley Regional Medical Center. As the United States continues to struggle with tough economic times, the economy in Vernal continues to slow. Many businesses have resorted to a wide variety of tactics in order to survive. To examine this topic, the economy and small business, we welcome into the studio Keith Foley, a local small business owner, and Mark Holmes, the Small Business Development Center Director at USU-Uintah Basin. So we welcome both of you here to Local Point.
Good to be here.
Well, I don't think there's any secret that we're in an economic downturn right now. As a local business owner, are you feeling that here in Vernal? I mean, for a while it seemed like everybody was talking about it, but we didn't feel it here. Has it hit?
It's hit. It definitely is hit. We have people who used to buy big purchases. Now they're more cautious, and they think about it a little bit more. That's an interesting twist from where we were a year ago and just so busy we couldn't do it all, and now we have time to think a little. So that's something that we have seen, yes.
We've seen a more thoughtful consumer. Maybe I can do without this. Maybe this can wait a little while.
Certainly.
Which is good in some regards, but when you're the business owner, not so good.
That's right. When your business is based on sales, not just in hours spent at the shop, why it makes a difference.
Right.
Other things that I've noticed there along with that are tough is that the people that we have work for us have families, they have husbands or they have wives. Their jobs have been affected also, so they come to work with some stresses. Also, they're worried about how their spouse's job is going to hold, and that affects them at the job as they come. And so we have those issues to deal with also.
Right.
And along with that, we try to talk to our people and assure them we're doing our best to keep them there and do what we can to make it a good place to work and to cut corners on all kinds of things so that we can, our employees are our best resource so we can keep them. So that's what we're doing.
Mark, you have in your position maybe a broader scope of what's happening all over our area. Are you finding that to be the case everywhere?
It is. At our office we do counseling for small business owners, and we find that we have from ladies with hair cutting salons to large oil field kinds of companies, and so we're really geared in the basin towards oil and gas drilling, and according to the Division of Oil and Gas Mining website, we're doing about 20% of the drilling, starting wells, about 20% of what we did last year at this time. So that's an 80% reduction.
That's not a little bit, that's
starts.
significant.
And when you see that, you start seeing people just shutting down, and so it's definitely impacted the basin.
So we are seeing some businesses shut down and just call it good.
There are quite a few that hadn't planned for the future, that ran into some real struggles lately, I think, that have been coming in to see me. And the problem that they've had is that it doesn't even need to really be a complete shutdown for a lot of the employees. We found that a lot of the employees that are coming in now thinking about starting their own business because they're not making enough money are in trouble, not because they've lost their job, but because they got into house payments or boat payments and things like that based on overtime wages, and they've just been cut back to 40 hours.
That's interesting. In a way, then, it's created a little bit of business development in a roundabout sort of way.
Yeah, and so people are doing what they have to do to try to make ends meet, and one of those things that seems good when you're kind of low is to start a new business. As Keith will tell you, that's a tough thing to do, and maybe the hard way to go about it.
And yet we call that the American dream, isn't it? To own your own business, but it's a very difficult thing. It's not as easy as it appears. Yeah. Yeah, you look like you've got something to say.
I do. A business is lots of work. It's not an 8 to 5 job. It's lots of work. You think about it before you go and after you go home. Some of the things that we've tried to do at our store and that others I think could do also is to look over what you are doing, what you do best. And what we do best would be the same as many others, and that's service kinds of things. We may have to cut back on some items, but you can't cut back on service.
Right.
Look at why people shop at your store or my store, and whatever that reason is, do it better than you've been doing. so that they still have a reason to come. The little things that made them want to come and visit your business, that's the thank you notes that you send after. Now you have time to send them out. Now you have time to meet with every customer that comes in. You have time to follow up on the ones who have been in, to contact them again and ask them if they have any questions or concerns or if they're still interested. Those are things that we can do and capitalize on our time, because we have a little more time than we used to. I think those are things, if we would do, would certainly help us.
I agree, and I think that's that small town appeal. That's something that we really like, and it means a lot more than people would even probably realize. To get a thank you note from a business, wow, that would be impressive. That would be very impressive. And you're just the person to do that. I can see you doing something like that, Keith. Now, we've got a whole other topic. I want to talk a little bit about the future, what we're going to do. You know, what can we do to deal with this? And if it's just the storm that we're weathering, or if we just need to take a different direction with things. So we'll come right back after this message from Ashley Regional Medical Center and talk a little bit about that.
If this were a lump in your breast, it could be cancer, and you wouldn't be able to feel it from inside or out. But there's a new technology that can see cancerous lumps at their earliest, most curable stages. It's technology that's helping save women's lives. It's called digital mammography. It can find a tumor years before you can feel it. Call Ashley Regional Medical Center to learn more and to schedule your appointment.
Welcome back. We're chatting about the economic situation here locally and what it's done to small businesses, and some interesting things in that first segment, things that I didn't really know. In my industry, where I'm in education, sometimes I'm a little bit out of touch with that, even though my wife is a small business owner. But I really wanted to go back to some of what you said on our way out to that commercial, which was a little bit about customer service. Are there other things, and that's an angle that you've had to really focus on? An angle is not the right word, but an emphasis to really to satisfy the customer and keep them here and keep them coming to you as opposed to someplace else. Are there other things that businesses are doing creatively to keep afloat? Are either of you aware of?
Well, I think the one thing that the business can do is to change and adapt. There's more education available. There's more ideas, more solutions to problems, and they just need to be able to take care of that. We find that there's a lot of people that run their business the same way Dad did and the same way Grandpa did, and that may have worked 30, 40, 50 years ago, but doesn't today. And that's why we have the small business development centers.
That's where you can help.
We provide that counseling and training and classes, and so that's why we're there. We're where the rubber meets the road for the U.S. Small Business Administration.
Well, that's actually a very good thing to bring up. And I'm sure some of our viewers are in this situation. So if they wanted to get some of that counseling, how would they get in touch with you?
They can just call Utah State University. My office is in the Vernal campus, and it's just 789-6100. Ask for Mark.
That's easy enough to remember.
Yeah, and they'll put you in touch with me. Any of the counseling we do is free of charge. So it's a pretty good
Well,
deal.
hey, how about that? Very good. I'm glad that you mentioned that. Well, what about you? Any other creative things that you're doing, Keith? Now you are afloat.
We're
right?
afloat.
Okay,
We are afloat. We are afloat. A couple of
I-
things that I think we can do, or that we have been doing. I have a son that's been taking a QuickBook class. Before, we didn't have time to do anything, so some extra training there is going to certainly help our business and also help
Make yourself better.
It'll make us better, and so folks who have time, this is a good time to sign up for some additional training or education. As Mark has said, let's do it. Let's make ourselves the best. The other thing is not to give up hope. As the customer comes in your store, if you look like you're beat, they'll sense it, and we need to look like we're here for the long haul. We're here to support our customers, do everything we can to keep them coming back, and we'll be successful. Things will be better.
Well, you know, that's the attitude of the local businessman that makes us want to shop there, shop here locally and support our Are there things that we can do to support our local businesses?
I can give you one item, and that's I'll have people came in my store the other day for a water heater. I don't carry water heaters. Two choices I had. One is to say, well, I don't carry those, and just look blank-faced at them. The other is give them some alternatives, some choices where they might go to get one.
Ah.
I would hope other businesses would do the same and refer to us, but whether they do or they don't, I've always forever referred anything that others have asked for to places that they can go
To
for
each
choices
other, support
to
one
help
another.
support one another.
Right, and that's a good tip from the side of the consumer as well, to be aware of that, be sensitive to the economic difficulties that we're experiencing, and hopefully it is just a storm that we're weathering and we'll climb back up out of it, but we'll be better and stronger because of it.
We will be.
Yeah. Well, we thank you both for coming today and talking about a little bit of a difficult, a sensitive topic, and appreciate you mentioning those services that you offer too. That's something that I didn't know about, and I'll bet our viewers are the same way. So we thank you both for coming today.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Now you can watch this and other VTV programs through our website, vernal.tv. We'll see you next time on the set of Local Point here on VTV Channel 6.